Good morning, everyone. This is Orlando Gill with TCTS Global, and I have the pleasure of welcoming today a good friend, my brother, Paul Lee. Good morning, Paul. Thank
Good
you.
morning, brother.
Thank you so much for your willingness to share with us some leadership qualities that we believe are important and they're a must if we want to become successful, whatever that means, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself as it relates to your leadership.
Sure. So I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, the oldest of three boys. And my parents were very adamant that we were, from a very young age, involved in giving back. So we all joined the Boy Scouts of America organization. And part of being a Cub Scout and then a Weeblo and then a Boy Scout is leadership. And what I discovered is that there's leadership of being in front and being the person talking. There's also leadership in being a great follower. And that's one of the things that has always stuck with me. And while I went through the Boy Scout process, I earned my Eagle Scout award. I had a number of other opportunities to serve in leadership roles. What really stuck out to me was that twofold aspect of being a leader. You know, you need those folks that are in front who make the tough decisions, that communicate the vision, that follow up, that build up the team. But you can only do that if you turn around and there's people that are willing to follow you. And there's a certain amount of leadership that comes in being willing to follow the person in front. So doing your part. What does that mean? That can mean listening attentively. That could be adding to the deliberations. That could be respectfully, giving a counterpoint. But that's also an aspect of being a leader. So, now in my current capacity where I work in conjunction with the university to support their campus spiritual ministry programs, and my ministry in particular is one of the largest ones on campus by both physical building and attendance. I get to exercise leadership, but oftentimes it's leadership by listening, making sure that you are available to genuinely hear the perspective of college students, professors, staff members, and make them feel that their voice is being heard, and then help them through whatever opportunity they are going through.
Very key is the listening. And sometimes we hear, but we don't listen. And that's key. That's key. Yeah. Active listening, people talk about. So in the last couple of years, I know that you have held a leadership position with a wonderful organization, the Knights of Columbus. And you were actually leading a troops of 36,000 people in the state of Iowa. How did you do it? How did you manage your time to be able to accomplish that? What was your routine? Because we believe that having a daily routine, having something that you go back to, and having the discipline to carry out your daily routine is important. So tell us a little bit about your daily routine and the importance of having a daily routine, please.
Sure. So you mentioned my opportunity to lead the Knights of Columbus in the state of Iowa, which is a great privilege of mine. And in that, you're working with volunteers that are on very different schedules. A lot of guys work maybe first shift, some work second shift, some work weekend package, Some are working both first and second. So all sorts of different walks of life you're trying to put together. And at least for me, discipline in a daily routine was the only way to accomplish anything. During my time as leader of the Knights of Columbus, it was the heyday and the start and the heyday of the global coronavirus pandemic. And in a particular way in Iowa, we had a natural disaster they call a derecho that came through and wiped out farmland of over a third of our state, which for Iowa, that's a huge source of income and livelihood, not just for the farmers, but everything that supports farming and agriculture. So for me, I had to have a daily routine. So I'm old school. I have a paper calendar. I also have a digital calendar. The digital calendar helps me to be able to communicate with my key team so they know where I am and what I'm doing, which then allows them to know what's good time to call and what's not a good time to call. So I put in my calendar family time. And they knew that if there was family time, it better be a darn good reason to call. Or they would also know that if I send a text, I'm not going to get one back. Or if I send an email, it's not coming back right then and there because that was family time.
Sure.
As being a spiritual person, I felt that the first part of the day, I want to give back to God. And the last part of the day, I want to give back to God. So I work so that the first half hour to an hour of every day is quiet, reflective time. It's time for me to, journal, to listen, to be inspired for the work ahead. And then at the end of the day, I'm able to take stock as what did I get done? What did I not get done? How did I help someone else? What ways I could be a better person so that in the morning, I'm ready to go again. Making sure that you take time for leisure. I see so many people that are in high leadership roles that just work and grind,
Sure.
but they don't take time to recharge. And that burns people out over a course of time, whether it be mentally burnt out, or you see so often that someone who's at the top of their game just collapse because they don't take time to take care of themselves. They don't take time to do something completely outside of their scope of work. For me, I enjoy kayaking. I'm not the greatest kayaker. You won't find me doing any major rapids on any high flow body of water, but I enjoy putting my small little 10-foot kayak out onto a pond or a lake or a stream and just being in nature, away from the phone, the computer, and just being in there. But it's that structuredness of scheduling that time that's so important.
So we're talking about a definite plan for having success on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about reflection on a daily basis, getting prepared by reflecting on what's ahead and reflecting then at the end of the day on what you have done. Have you accomplished what you set out to do? Wonderful. Have you ever fallen off the discipline trail? Is that a challenge for you? Has it been a challenge at some point?
Oh, absolutely. I just think of we just got through the Christmas holidays. When you've got everybody in the house and, you're not going to work for a couple of days, it is very easy to get off of that discipline trail. And I feel it when I'm not doing my daily routine. I feel sluggish, or I feel like there's just something off. And, for other people, that daily routine might not include all of the time of reflectives and, planning, but there are certain things that people just naturally do every day. Some people, it's a case of I get up, I have a cup of coffee, and then I start my day. And if you're in an environment where you can't have that fresh brewed cup of coffee to start your day, you just feel off.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
So for me, yeah, there have been times, and I recognize it. And now it's to the point that my kids recognize, Dad, you're off. Did you not get up for, for your morning time? What happened? And they'll
Sure.
call me out on it. My wife will do a great job of calling me out of, you're off your grind. And so, it's once your inner circle knows what your routine is and sees how it affects everything else, every decision, then I think that invites your inner circle to be part of that daily discipline, to hold you accountable to that.
What would you suggest, Paul, is going through some changes in their lives? What would you suggest for them to come up with an effective daily routine? Where should they start?
What are your priorities? What are, if you think of a jar and you think of big rocks, medium-sized pebbles, and small little grains of sand, what are those big rocks? What are those things that are most important at this time in life? My wife and I, we are looking, our 15th wedding anniversary is upcoming.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And we are looking at what do we want to do to celebrate that. So for us, we're changing our normal savings pattern financially to fit something new because we want to incorporate a big family trip.
Okay.
So it's what are the big rocks? And then from there, once we know what we need to save, then those small pebbles will be what things that we currently spend money on that maybe not so much anymore, because we want to save for these big rocks. And it will be a challenge because that means that we can't go out to eat as much. We enjoy blessing the lives of others financially, what we can, and maybe we need to cut back on that for a while because we want to bless the lives of our family with this big trip. And then, everything else settles into that, but it's all based on those big rocks. And especially as you make that transition, as you're going through a rough patch, coming back to what's most important for you becomes those big rocks. And then some of those other things, you let them go. You simply just let them go because you're focused on those big rocks.
So purpose drives your routine.
Yes.
Purpose drives where you're going. Oh, I very much appreciate your willingness to break your daily routine to let us in so that we can chat about this. I look forward to great things from you from the standpoint of some of the things that you have planned for the organization that we represent. And thank you and God bless. You have a great day, sir.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much.
Orlando Gill with TCTS Global. We develop talent. Follow us on social media. Have a great day. Thank you.